the most basic question which must be asked is, why did God create existence? If God, in fact, as we discussed in the first segment of Rabbi Luzzatto, is perfect in the absolute sense, God has no needs. Whatever exists, exists because God willed existence. We find continuously, especially in the Haggadah, this is the book which we use at the Seder, the night of Passover, which we retell and communicate to our children, to our families, and to one another. The bondage in Egypt and the redemption, the miracles, supernatural acts which took place. And we say, Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. Blessed is the Makom, the location. God is referred to as the location. So the Midrash tells us He is the location of the world. The world is not His location. If God is infinite, God is not contained within anything, but rather all existence is dependent upon Him, who He wills existence. A location has a capacity to contain. God is not contained. If God is contained within any parameters, God is finite. God is not infinite. So if God is perfect in the absolute sense and has no need, because God is not lacking, why did He create existence? With all that is entailed, the human being, who's a composite of the physical and the spiritual, the body being physical and the soul being totally spiritual. A being who has the ability to make choices. A being that's not controlled and dictated by instinct as any other living creature is. A being who has intellect, who has an agility, who's multifaceted. Why did He create all this? God needs nothing. We read in the Bible, which is referred to as the Torah, about sacrifices in the temple. One is obligated to bring communal sacrifices when the temple stood. If one chooses to bring a voluntary offering as an individual, not as a communal offering, one has a right. If one transgresses on a very serious level, one must bring a sin offering, a guilt offering, a burnt offering to atone, to be reinstated with God, to rehabilitate one's spirituality. And the Torah says regarding every one of these offerings, and it brings pleasure to God. God needs nothing, because you've done His will, it gives Him pleasure. Meaning, until you give Him pleasure, He doesn't have pleasure. So you're offering something that He doesn't have. If you read it on a very superficial level without any understanding, it seems to be God is lacking. Because if he's not lacking, you can't give anything to him because he has everything and he is everything. So how does one understand this at the most basic elementary level? These are very fundamental, important questions. All belief is contingent on this because the human being was only created to serve God. Just to explain, what does it mean? What does it mean that the human being was created to serve God? God needs no one to serve him. If God created us and he continuously wills every function, every ability, every endowment which we possess, what are we giving him? The Talmud tells us everything is preordained except the fear of God. When the ovum is about to be fertilized, there's an angel who takes that droplet of semen before God, and God makes a pronouncement what that human being is going to be in his lifetime. Wise or foolish, strong or weak, healthy or infirm, wealthy or poor, or destitute. These are all preordained. The destiny of man is pronounced pre-fertilization of that ovum. The only pronouncement which is not made by God is righteous and evil. But why? So the Talmud concludes, because all is predestined except for the fear of heaven. That's the choice. I give an example. You have a boat in a river, and there's a very strong current in that river. So what carries the boat? The water and the current in that river causes the boat to travel at a certain speed. But the boat has a rudder. And the person in the boat is able to turn that rudder. That rudder will determine what direction the boat will go. Although the boat is being transported and being moved by the water in that current, the man's action, choice, and what direction that rudder will be turned will determine the direction where the boat goes. Forward, northward, or southward. Identically. The energies are there. The forces are in place. We're able to utilize those forces based on our choice for good or evil. What determines? What is the basis for that choice? One's fear of heaven. If one is cognizant that there is a God, that he's aware of everything we do, that there is retribution, divine retribution, and there's reward, and one understands the dimension and the extent of the Creator, then one will do the right thing and utilize and turn that rudder in the right direction. But if, God forbid, one is oblivious or doesn't appreciate who God is, due to his arrogance, due to his ignorance, or his lack of education and his foolishness, he will turn the rudder in the direction which he's going off and over the falls to ultimately go into the oblivion